Alright, you lot. Gather round, because today we're talking about something that's apparently rocket science to some people. XDefiant. You know, game you either love or love to hate, judging by moans echoing around YouTube and Reddit like a broken record. But hey, we're here to set things straight. Now listen up, this is good stuff. No frills, no fluff, just cold hard truth. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. It actually helps channel grow, believe it or not. Alright, buckle up. This one's going to be a bumpy ride through unfiltered, uncensored reality while your whining ain't making it better and might actually be making it worse. Right, so it's situation. Every time I log on, I'm seeing same tired complaints about XDefiant. You've got players barking on about, why is this still a thing, or why don't we have this yet? As if they're shouting into void, hoping that somehow, through sheer force of moaning, they'll get the way faster. Meanwhile, I'm here holding my head thinking, how many times do you need to be told? Look, I get it. We all want game to be at its best. Hell, I'd love a bug-free, perfectly balanced game served to me on a silver platter as much as next guy. And sure, proper criticism and reporting of bugs are essential. No one's arguing that. But problem is, this ain't good old suggestions box at your local McDonald's. This is a team of devs who already know about half the issues you're banging on about. And guess what? They've got a system, a full-on project manager for keeping track of every damn bug, every tweak, every line of code that's been reworked. So they know what needs fixing, and they're actually doing it. It's kicker though. Constantly repeating same whinge about same bug ain't gonna speed things up, believe it or not. Shocker, I know. You moan about one thing today, they acknowledge it. You moan about it tomorrow, they're still working on it. You moan about it next day, mate, all you're doing is clogging up channels that could be handling fresh issues or new ideas. Devs have to sift through every whinge to see if there's any new info in there. But when it's same complaint on loop, it just ends up burying genuine feedback that might actually help fix game faster. So let me lay this out for you nice and simple. Reporting new issues? Great, that's useful. But beating dead horse of complaints you already know they're fixing? That's not criticism, that's whining. And it don't make devs drop everything and fix it for you. If all, it just slows them down as they dig through noise. Want game to improve faster? Save devs a headache. Report what matters. Leave out rest. They're not forgetting issue, they're working through them, step by step. Let me tell you how this process actually works. Because some of you seem to think game devs have a magic button labelled, fix everything instantly. Spoiler alert, they don't. See, game development is like running a bloody marathon while juggling chainsaws. Complex, dangerous, and guaranteed to leave you with a few scars. And here's what a lot of players don't get. When you report an issue, it doesn't just pop up on some dev's screen with flashing lights saying, fix me now. That's not how it works. Every bug or feature request goes into a system where it's prioritised, evaluated, and then, here's a big one, scheduled. Yeah, that's right, as an actual order to things. Every project has a roadmap, and if every random complaint got actioned immediately, that roadmap would look like aftermath or a pub crawl. So let's say devs know about a bug, they've acknowledged it, put it on to-do list, but here's where patience comes into play. They have to analyse that bug, figure out what's causing it, and often it ain't as simple as flicking a switch. They'll have to dig into lines of code, test it, make sure fixing that one bug don't break something else. Because if you think whining about one bug is annoying, imagine what would happen if they fixed it and ended up wrecking 3 other things in process. And let's not forget these devs are coordinating with other teams, other departments, maybe even across different games. They're working on improvements, content updates, balance changes, and yeah, bug fixes all at once. If you think you're frustrated waiting, imagine devs buried under a mountain of requests trying to untangle it all without setting the entire thing on fire. So next time you're tempted to wail, why ain't this fixed yet? Just remember, fix is in motion. These things take time that I'd more of if they weren't wading through endless complaints about same old issue. Respect process. Report something useful, or better yet, sit back and let professionals work. Because newsflash, your incessant whining ain't part of their roadmap. And trust me, if you think you're being helpful by screaming, why is this still a thing? Every 5 minutes, you're about as helpful as a screen door on a submarine. Here's the thing. When you bombard devs with same complaints, it's not reminding them or holding them accountable. Nah, it's just clogging up system. Imagine if every time you tried to fix a leaking pipe, 100 people stood over you shouting, fix it, is it done yet? That's what these devs are dealing with on a daily basis. 1,000 voices saying the same damn thing they've already heard. Now, devs aren't just ignoring these complaints. No, they actually have to go through each one to make sure it don't contain some new detail or insight. So while they're sifting through endless stream, this is still broken rants, real unique reports that could genuinely help solve issues, yeah, they're getting buried. Every extra bit of noise in system means devs have to spend more time wading through it. Time they could use fixing bugs you're mourning about in first place. And don't get me started on influencers who stir up constant cycle of outrage. They post a video going on about bugs as if they're fresh news, when in reality they're just repeating things devs are already fixing. But fanbase sees it, panics, and suddenly we're back to square one with everyone shouting about issues that are already in pipeline. These hot takes just create an echo chamber of frustration, making it harder for devs to focus on actual problems. See, it's takeaway, folks. If you've already reported summer and you know it's on their radar, then for love of gaming, stop beating dead horse. Let devs breathe. Let them do the jobs. Trust process. Or at very least, stop making it harder for them to get things done. One of the biggest misconceptions in gaming today, this laughable notion that fixes and updates should roll out like clockwork, on demand, like ordering a takeaway. Just fix it already. Yeah, as if game development's a bloody vending machine. You press a button and out pops a bug fix. It's reality check. You don't just fix out in game development. Every single tweak, change, or addition to game has to be thoroughly tested, reviewed, and then often retested to make sure it don't trigger a chain reaction that turns your favourite game into a flaming pile of glitches. Because let me tell you, that one tiny bug fix you're clamouring for, it's probably sitting on top of a mess of interwoven systems. You pull one thread too hard, an whole tapestry can unravel. And let's not forget we're talking about a game built by a team with schedules, priorities, deadlines, and a mountain of tasks they're already balancing. They can't just drop everything for your pet bug. And honestly, expecting them to is a bit, well, unrealistic, don't you think? And look, I get it. We live in an age of I want it now, where everything's expected to be instant, on demand, faster than you can set buffering. But game development don't work in that way. Pushing out a quick fix might feel like a win for players, but if it causes a massive crash or breaks 3 other features, suddenly everyone's screaming, why did they rush this update? It's a no-win scenario if you expect miracles without patience. So here's a bit of advice. Manage those expectations. Understand that fixing and updating a game, especially one as layered and intricate as XDefiant, is a process. You want quality? Then it takes time. Devs are already doing everything they can to keep game in good shape. Your job? Sit tight, keep calm, and maybe think twice before you start pounding on complaint button again. It's time to draw a line in sand between what actually helps game and what's just noise polluting devs' workspace. And yeah, there's a difference. Constructive feedback? That's useful. Whining like a petulant child who's had the sweets taken away? That's just a waste of everyone's time. So what's constructive feedback? It's pointing out an issue with actual detail, providing specific information that helps devs narrow down root at problem. Let's say you're experiencing a bug. Instead of screaming, fix this now, try describing issue with a bit of context. What platform are you on? What were you doing when it happened? Does it happen consistently? That's stuff that makes bug report useful. Devs aren't mind readers. The more clear, detailed info they get, faster they can zero in on solution. Now, on the flip side, whining sounds a bit like this. Why is this still broken? I'm so sick of this game. With zero useful information. It's like shouting, my car's broken. And to a mechanic, we aren't telling them what's wrong. And sure, it might make you feel better to vent, but it's not doing a damn thing to help devs. They need details, not a tirade. And let's talk about those people who think they're making a bold statement by threatening to quit game. If you don't fix this, I'm done, they say, as if devs are shaking in the boots. Look, if you're genuinely unhappy, that's fair. Every player's experience matters. The idea that ultimatums and empty threats are gonna change, oh, pure fantasy. Devs are professionals working on a roadmap, not customer service agents bending over backwards for every demand. It's golden rule. If you've got feedback, make it constructive. Devs actually want game to improve. It's the job after all. Give them something they can work with, something real, something specific. Leave out drama, threats, same old complaints they've already heard. You might just find that you get better results and, shocker, a better game in end. Bottom line, if you want to help game, bring something to the table that actually helps. Because whining without substance is just wasting everyone's time. And frankly, we're all better off without it. Right, let's wrap it all up with a little talk about patience and realism. Two things that seem about as rare in gaming these days as a decent launch with no bugs. If you really want to see XDefiant get better, then it's time to shift gears from entitled impatience to actually supporting devs. Now look, I get it. You're invested in this game, and you want it to be the best it can be. Hell, we all do. But understand this. Real progress, real improvements, take time. If you're expecting every little fix or new feature to appear overnight, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And more importantly, you're putting unrealistic pressure on devs, who are already working flat out to make games something we can all enjoy. See, when you throw your support behind the team instead of adding to the stress, it's a win-win. Devs who know the community actually understands process, that's a dev team that can focus, innovate, and push out quality content without worrying about angry mobs every time there's a delay. Support don't mean sitting quietly, it means giving feedback that's helpful, voicing concerns in a way that's constructive, and yeah, sometimes it means being patient and trusting process. Crazy concept, I know. And here's another thing, your patience and support aren't just doing devs a favour, it actually benefits you in the long run. A dev team that isn't constantly bogged down by endless whining and unrealistic demands is a dev team that can work smarter, faster, and more effectively. They can focus on fixes that matter, improvements that last, and updates that genuinely enhance game, rather than getting sidetracked by a storm of repetitive complaints. So next time you feel that itch to post yet another "why ain't this fixed yet" comment, ask yourself, is it worth it? If you've already given your feedback, then let it go and give them breathing room they need to get it done. Support devs by showing a bit of patience. They're already doing work, now it's your turn to let them do it. In end, community that stands by devs and trusts process is community that gets a game it deserves. So if you want XDefiant to be the best it can be, remember, patience, realism, and a little support goes a long way. It's not about instant gratification, it's about building something great together. Now don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe and drop your comments and questions below. Who knows, I might just feature them on channel. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.